Hey, everyone. Good to see you. Day 3 of the Fast Forward Your Future, creating a year's worth of goals in 67 days. I want to make sure I give VIP in the room. Good morning to everyone. I'm so excited that you're here. We are going to have a powerful day. I hope you've had your coffee. I hope you have your water near you. I hope you have your pen and your paper and you're ready to rock and roll. I see that beautiful star cup going on there. Hey, Ken from Dallas, good to see you. As everybody is jumping in, we have a fireball of a day for you today. So, as we're jumping in, I would love to hear from those of you that posted in the group your mountains and your boulders, how that experience impacted you. And for those of you who took my challenge and actually told someone your declaration, I would love to hear what happened. Today is a day that we're going to really put all these pieces together. And my most exciting thing for today, which is we're going to take what these mountains and these boulders and how do you create what we do on the daily? Because the number one question I hear from every entrepreneur is, I have the dream, I have the vision, but I just need to know how. And so that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be showing you the rest of the 60-70 year method. And then we're also going to be hitting on how to create the identity that is necessary to gain financial freedom, to become that 6 and 7 figure entrepreneur, because there is an identity that if you do not have it, will continue to boomerang you back to start. What is that game? It's like Chutes and Ladders, right? Where you're like going around, and then like you get in there and shoot, like it pulls you back out. And that's what I do not take a stand for. I want to not only help you see how simple and how fast, and that's one thing I loved about the post last night is a lot of you were like, I had no idea the clarity that could come when I aligned with how my brain works. Like some of you are like, not only do I know what my boulders are, but I'm already taking action on stuff that I've been waiting on for years. And that's exciting because that's exactly how fast speed can start to create momentum and then acceleration once you have a true path that aligns with how your brain allows results. And once we really start to train your brain to allow the success. Now, if you're just joining me, if today is day 1 for you, or maybe even day 2, and you're in the conversation in your head, I'm behind, I don't know, I'm not sure. I just want you to take a deep breath and relax. One of the things that we love to do here is to make sure we give you space to go all in and go deeper. So I've shared the URL 67dayreplay.com. You're going to want to bookmark that. On that replay page is where every replay is going. So over the weekend, now we have a call together tomorrow too, but we've got the next few days that replay page will be up and live. Now VIP, of course, you'll get recordings in your portal there, but it will be there for you to binge watch. We call it Netflix for accomplishing your goals, Netflix for your success, right? And here's the thing. Dean Graziosi told me this one time. He said, and we were talking about the brain and how the brain works. And he said, like the first time around, you're taking in information. It's sometimes, especially what we've been talking over the last few days, tell me in the chat, put the word new if you're like, this has been new. This has been something I've never experienced before. Like I've heard people talking about goals and I've heard people talking about strategy, but I never have created so much momentum in such a short period of time. This is new. Training this way and getting speed for accomplishment and really making my own economy. This is really, really new. So Dean was talking about how, the first time is information. And you know how we talked about yesterday, information plus revelation plus action equals transformation. Well, I'm going to even encourage this thought, which is the second time you do something, don't you feel like you learned something different? Like the first time around, it's like you're taking in new information and your brain is trying to categorize it. The second time around, it's like, Oh, wow. It goes even deeper into the marrow of your bones. So, for those that have been here with us, I'm going to say take the weekend and allow yourself to like rewatch some of it and see what new things come up. But I would love to know, because like I said, today I want you to go all in and play full out. But I want to hear what happened while you were posting your mountain and your boulders. What realizations did you have? What ahas did you have? And one of the things that I heard a lot was just how simple this really can be and how overcomplicated the whole marketing world makes what we do in terms of accomplishing results, right? And who was brave enough to share their declaration with someone? I want to see what we're saying. Like, oh my gosh, this is so new, but that is so powerful. Let me pull you up, VIP. I got to pull up your chat here so I can see you too. There we are. There we are. So I need, before I get going, because remember, I'm not going to keep going giving you more information on how to apply this unless I know. So Lisa said you did. Lisa, what happened? Tell me who you told and what happened when you told them. That's really, really powerful. Carolina said, I shared my declaration with my husband and it's in a video on Facebook. It was interesting. And I was surprised in how he responded. Yes, sometimes we think we're walking in a vacuum, but in reality, the people around us want to support us. They actually do believe in us in ways that we did not realize. And as we step into that kind of connection with people and we start declaring it more and more, it becomes very powerful. Yeah, and sharing, it just helps you be more accountable, but it's also this thing like your words have power. Your word, we talked about the plant yesterday and how the plant does this interesting thing when you say it, powerful things to it, and when you say the things that are hidden and those mean things. So I was so excited about the people who were messaging last night. One of the things I saw a lot of was how, by declaring it, by defining your mountains, defining your boulders, how much more confident you felt. Right? So I'd love to hear, write the word confident. If doing what we've done over the last few days has created for you a different level of confidence than you knew internally that you had. Catherine says, I understand that it's real and it's doable now. And I shared it with my sisters. She didn't truly get it. That's okay. That's why we're here. But it made it clear for what I am doing. And I envision more than I really ever thought. The power that's available to you. And look at that. If in 3 short days, your level of confidence, just because, remember, the language of results in the brain is clarity. It's being very clear. And so as we've been very clear, your brain is becoming more and more and more confident, which is really, really exciting. I'm so excited for you guys. Okay, so let's get going. I'm so excited. Make sure you've got your phones on mute, on silent, because really we've been diving into what really creates results, right? How you can get unhooked from other people creating your economy and you start to create your own economy. I want to pause there because I want to ask you a question. If you 67 days from now, because you're in the 67-day year, and I'm going to let you know about that today. We are opening the doors to that today. If you're now starting after 67 days to create your own economy, write the word powerful if that would be a game changer for your life. I absolutely know it's a game changer for mine. When I realized I could unhook myself from other people's dreams, other people's visions. Of course, I support them, and really, truly start to create acceleration, not momentum, acceleration towards creating my own economy And I'm seeing all of you. Gosh, we are so similar, right? Because we were really put on this planet to make a difference. And internally, you know that. That's why this idea of creating your own economy gets your heart stirred up, because you know that, as TJ Jakes says, this is not that. Like the old broken ways of doing things that did not create the results is not what you're going to stay committed to. And you learned how, if you're staying the same, expecting different results, that's going to bring in not just staying still. It is actually bringing you backwards, because as you continue to try, work hard, and then it doesn't get to where you want it to be, your confidence takes a hit, your strength takes a hit, and you start to doubt more. So you end up going backwards by staying attached to the old broken ways of accomplishing results. And you also learned that there is the new economy, the speed economy, and that aligning and training your brain to allow results is the new way to accomplish everything that you want. And we also uncovered how we revealed some areas that were anchored to lack. And I'm going to throw another one at you right now, because I want you to, what I really want to land for you today are these two things that must shift. Number one, you must learn this new method to be able to create your own economy and enter into the speed economy, which is you need to really train your brain to allow the results. And that's the 67-day year method. But number two, we've got to train the identity to match it. So we anchor to lack without knowing. And remember, we didn't create it. Those were automations that were implanted by our family of origin, environment of origin. Things like, I don't know. How do I do this? I'm so discouraged. I'm let down. And here's a big one. I'm tired. I'm just tired. And these areas that we don't see as lack because we think we're lacking money are actually the very thing that are on automation. And they're literally pumping the brakes to the vision, the goals, the dream, the legacy, everything that you want to create. And you also learned how you need to move yourself to being the person who makes fast decisions, because in this speed economy, fast decisions win. The new economy is speed. And I had an interesting moment at our mastermind last week where I started just doing a survey. A researcher at heart, I started asked the whole room this one question. I asked them, on average, when faced with a decision, how long does it take you to make that decision? And the answers ranged from 30 seconds to 5 minutes. No one more than 5 minutes. Now, remember, everybody in that room is multi-seven-figure business owners and above. And I asked the second follow-up question, and I said, how often do you sleep 24 hours before making a decision? And overwhelmingly, the answer ranged from never to almost never. So it's like very rarely. But when I've surveyed most people that aren't at that level, they'll take on average 2, 5, 7, 14 days to make a decision. Are you seeing the gap right now? Write gap if you're seeing the gap. How those who learn to train the identity into the mind of speed, remember the speed acronym, and has this fast decision trained into your DNA, that allows things to move so much more clearly and confidently toward where you want to go. And what stops this fast decision making? Let's just talk about that for a second. Do you have a guess? Do you have a guess? What stops you from when you know that like joining 67-day year is the thing to do because this has got to be your year? What stands in the way? What sentence does your brain provide to you? You know, it's usually the language of fear. We talked about the language of failure in the brain is fear, because it leads to doubt, it leads to second guessing, and it leads to you backsliding to old broken methods. And then we talked about the principle of momentum. Body emotion stays in motion, body emotion stays at rest. And the difference between that and what we really do in the 67-day year, which is the principle of acceleration, it's a body in motion that stays in motion and gains speed toward its goal. And the only thing that stops it is force. Well, what is a force that could stop your acceleration? Tell me in the chat. Tell me in the chat. What is it? What is a force, if you were lone wolfing it, that could be the force that stops your acceleration? Fear, 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 lack of knowledge, fear, negative beliefs. Exactly. Exactly. You guys have learned so much. So, you guys, this is the vital piece of why trying to do something new that you've never done before and doing it alone will lead to fear, to lies popping in and being that force that stops the acceleration. Now, last night, my daughter was sitting behind me while I was watching your videos. My daughter was standing by me and she was like, Mom, this is so cool. Like, I see how this person's changing their life. It was Britta that she was watching at the time. And it was like, she's like, Mom, this is so cool. And, you know, I was telling her, I was so proud of her for like listening and getting excited about it. And it was really, God, it made me really emotional because you know what? We are the crazy people that just think we can change the world, right? We are the people that have the dreams, the visions, the desires on our heart that God has put on it. And we really aren't ready to settle. And that's why you've been hanging out with me these 4 days in the Fast Forward Your Future Challenge, right? Because you're able to take and shift those dreams into the mountains, into finding your boulders, and then moving on to what we're going to learn today on how you actually get that down to something that's daily. The posts were amazing. I really want you to go in and listen if you haven't and comment on your new, I call you guys my family of choice. I love my family of origin. They're amazing. But my family of choice are people who are the 1% crazy. You know, the 1% that say, you know what, I really feel like this is what I'm supposed to do and I'm going to do it. And we're going all in and we're changing the next generation. So by my daughter sitting there listening to that, the next generation is being inspired to no longer settle, to no longer play small, to no longer let those thoughts, because we all have them, be the things that pump the brakes. And she got so excited to know. She's like, Mom, I love that we don't have to believe the stories we tell ourselves. I said, yeah, baby, you're right. We actually have a gift if we choose to use it. Unfortunately, so many people don't, but you have. And that's why I'm excited about the winners, right? I want to give away some more money this morning because why? Because I want to show you how easy it is. I want to show you how money does flow to you easily without doing much, right? I want to show you how money is a currency. Current, what's the word in there? Currency, movement. It moves to you and through you and around you. And as you're serving other people, and I'll try not to take a left-hand turn here. We're going to dive into that financial freedom identity today. But as you're noticing that this currency is just coming to you, and as you serve people, it flows through you. You join 67-day year, you do things, you serve at a bigger level, more people see you, you serve bigger, your income goes up. That's how it works, right? So we've got 2 Amazon gift cards for our winners today. I'm so excited for you. And we picked 2 because I couldn't decide, because they gave me 2 names and I said, okay, great. Sounds great. So the 2 names, let's do a drum roll, is Britta. Congratulations, Britta. Woo! Give Britta some love, Britta D. And Tim Taylor. Tim Taylor. Woo! Congratulations. I hope this is like an opening for you, that it just really can be simple. It really can be easier than you think it can be. And here's the exciting thing, y'all. Oh, evidently, I'm truly becoming Texan now. Some people, just by doing what we've done together, got One person got 3 new clients. Isn't that crazy? One person had a video go viral that they went and did their declaration and it went viral. And now they're like, I'm getting DMs of people wanting to do what I declared I was doing. So that person is going to be pretty slammed with new clients. Why? Because she told her brain, this is what I declare. Her brain's language is the language of certainty. And as that energy got put forward, the people that were listening became certain as well. I had another person DM me and said, this week, I've gotten 100 new followers. I haven't had 100 new followers in ages, because you're changing your thinking, you're changing your results. And remember, think about the SPEED acronym, SPEED. S for success, the very thing you're going for, the mountains, the boulders. P for the passion that you bring to the table. E for the excitement. I hope you're feeling some excitement that I have for you this week to get you the 67-day year method and to really help accelerate you faster than you ever thought possible. Excellence. Because you know what? The calling on your life is a place that only you have, that 1%. And so being a person of excellence accelerates your results. And then of course we talked about fast decision making as part of this method around getting into the SPEED economy so that you can create your financial freedom. And, of course, the traps to avoid. We talked about the confusion, how your brain serves these things up to you, these sentences up to you to do what? To keep you safe and familiar. And one of the lack of confidence, confusion, doubt, and of course, I'll just do this alone. The biggest lie to ever be uttered by any entrepreneur, because I can tell you for multi-7 figures, multi-8 figures business owners, we never do it alone. We got to know the strategy and the steps. We need to know exactly where we're headed. And we need to be in a room with people that have been there, that can clear the path, can have warned me about the potholes, and can walk beside me and really point out the things, this is the way, and walk in it. And so today we're going to do 3 things. We're going to complete your 67-day year map. Who's excited? Right? 67. If you're excited about taking it from the mountain to the boulders down to actionable steps, right? And we're going to break down that map. We're going to really talk about how much time does it take to do all this. There's just a few more steps that you need to know. So we're going to do that. And then we're also going to talk about how to train your brain to allow financial freedom. There's an identity of someone at 6 and 7 figures. Do you agree? Say yes. There's like a difference in the identity of somebody who's in 6 and 7 figures, somebody that has the financial freedom that you want. So I love to say it's mountains plus boulders plus something you're going to learn today plus identity equals speed. That's what equals speed, right? So we're going to talk about how to create an identity for financial freedom. How do you get the confidence? Because identity, and I just really want to land this for a second, because a lot of you were talking about confidence. Confidence comes from competence. So hold on. I just want you to write that down and hold on to that, because when we get into that identity for financial freedom, we're going to deep dive into that. And really, today's vital about really learning the value of time, because you know what? You cannot get yesterday back. I talked about, 3 more summers with my son and 7 more with my daughter. I can't get yesterday back. Time is the currency of this speed economy. And the good news is the people in this room, one of the fastest accelerants to financial freedom is serving others over chasing money. Write that down. Serving others over chasing money. Now, in the old industrial system, the broken goal setting system, the outside in system, we were dangled the money in front of us to put out more widgets, to perform better. And so our brain got saturated with this idea that if I just work hard, I'm going to get more. And it's actually an opposition, as you've learned over the last 2 days, with how your brain works. But there's this concept in financial freedom around the law of sowing and reaping. So as you sow, as you give your 1% away, as you serve others, who in the room here loves impact, right? Impact. If you love impacting others' lives, if you love making a difference in other people's lives, if you coach, or if you're like, even with products and services, you want to make a difference. You want to see them change, right? So isn't that the best news of all? You don't need to have a financial degree. You need to have a heart degree. You need to learn how to focus your energy on serving others. This law of sowing and reaping, just like the plant, we have to put the seed in the ground in order for it to produce, right? So I want to ask this question in the chat. When I say financial freedom, what is the identity of someone with financial freedom? Tell me in the chat, because I want to get this defined in your mind before we map out your 67-day year. So what is an identity of somebody with financial freedom? And while you're doing that, I'm going to tell you a little story that aligns with this. So the story is back when I was in college. I went to Arizona State. I don't know if any ASU alumni, but Arizona State back in the day were really good at sports, really known for their sports, really doing really well. I'm not sure if that's true this day, but they were then. And I had been a dancer all my life and really wanted to make the ASU cheer team. They were one of the best in the nation, right? And so since 2, I was on point and all the things. Now, this makes no sense to all of you who don't dance, but if you do, or if it's kind of my joy. Okay, it's the thing that brings light to me. It's joy to me. So, I mean, my feet look like dancers' feet. Like, it's just a thing, right? So my mind went to, because I'd put in the reps, is my point. I put in the reps growing up, going to I can't tell you how many times I did, what is that Christmas play that they Nutcracker, the Nutcracker, I did a million of those. I could probably do it in my sleep. So here's the thing. I wanted to make that team really bad. Kind of probably like how you're feeling about financial freedom. Like, I really wanted to make that team. It was the best of the best. It meant freedom to me. And so I thought to myself, well, I saw a piece of paper that said the NFL Cardinals were holding tryouts for their cheer team. So I'm like, oh, perfect. It's a perfect place to go sharpen my skills, to get in the reps at a high level, right? So I went and I tried out. And as I'm in these rooms, because I'd done the reps, I really wasn't looking to the left or to the right. I mean, they're beautiful, talented people, but I really wasn't concerned with them because my mind was focused in on really preparing for what I wanted, really sowing the seed, like we were talking about, doing the reps. And so I thought, what a great thing. And so I sat, by the way, it was grueling. I sat in this, it was like a week long. It was the hardest physical thing I've ever done. And I've done a lot. And so I'm in those rooms and I'm trying out and I'm thinking I'm going to be so ready for the tryout for ASU. And I was getting ready to pack up and they're starting to call names. And then they called my name. I'm like, what? See, this is what happens when you align your focus. Don't look to the left and to the right, and you just get the reps in. And we're going to teach you how to get those reps in today. Because I was focused on the serving, because I was focused on doing my best, excellent, all the things in that SPEED acronym, I performed at a level that allowed the freedom to come in that I wasn't even looking for. I wasn't even looking for it. And I was like, okay, well, looks like I'm going to bypass going to be on the ASU team to cheer for the NFL. So that was amazing, right? So what identity do you think someone with freedom, financial freedom, has? Tell me in the chat. I want 100% of you writing what that down is because it's really, really important. And I have another friend of mine who's an amazing singer. And we were at a restaurant. We were sorry guys, but lots of stuff happens in ladies' restroom. So we were in the restroom and it's just a thing. And so we were there, and I was asking, I'm like, sing that song. And so she's like singing it because we're really good friends. And then someone came out and said, that was in the restroom, and said, hey, did you know, what's that show? American Idol. She said, did you know American Idol's doing tryouts? Your voice is amazing. You should try out. And she took the information and she's like, okay. And then she didn't do anything with it. She didn't do anything with it at all. And I called her, I'm like, why aren't you doing it? She's like, I'm not sure. I got to do more. I got to prepare more. Where my perfectionist at? I got to take more steps. I got to do, I can't do it messy like that. I have to be. And she gets a phone call, and it's from the lady from the restroom. She'd given her a number, and she said, hey, why didn't you try out? And she said, I just didn't think I was ready. I think I need to do more things. And she said, I didn't want to tell you when we were together, but I'm actually the top scout for American Idol. And that was a personal invitation to come. Now, don't worry. We all pushed her. She ended up going on. She did really, really, really well. But that just shows you what doubt can do in the face. That's that reticular activating system right there, shutting the door, when the person that could make the decision to change her life was literally handing her a golden ticket. So let me see what you said on the financial freedom. What's the identity? So we're saying action, right? Interesting. Perfectionism. Ability to pay all bills, do all things, love, helping others, traveling, earning, not working, focused, vision. Financial freedom is not worrying about paying my bills, being able to move to a bigger, nicer place, getting things that I would rather have than things I can afford, buying gifts, helping others, having choices. This is great. Not worrying about me or my pet getting sick because I can't afford healthcare, not relying on my partner or government to help with costs. That's true. What other kinds of identities do you think somebody who's already financially free has? Freedom. Heather says the freedom to do what they want, when they want, no matter what. And you notice how it's all around funds. Even though we've been talking about the things that have stopped us, it's all around money. Confidence, self-belief, service of others. Yes, exactly. Renee, freedom to build the lifestyle they desire. And more than, I love this, more than enough to bless others, right? So it becomes less about them and more about others. So good. Beth said, abundantly equipped with exactly what they need to grow, and growth mindset, learning from failures. Calm, collected, great decision maker, open-hearted, charitable, opposite of somebody who is lacked in fear. That's so powerful. So identity, this identity that we're talking about, comes from being driven, from being passionate, from dreaming, from focusing on helping others, making a change, making a difference. I know this already exists in you. Say yes if what I just said is already there. You're already driven. You're already passionate. You already dream. You already help others. That's your heart. I already know it because you all said impact. You really want to change and make a difference. And I know this. Others people probably tell you that you're working too hard, that you're trying too hard, that you're doing too much, right? And here's what I know about you. You don't want to have financial freedom to hoard it. I know that, but you want it. And as I read your definitions, it was clear as day. You want it to be able to make a difference and to leave a legacy. So I'm going to ask you, what do you want your identity, your I am, your financial freedom identity to be? This is a little bit of an exercise hearkening back to day one. It is a declaration, and I'm going to ask you to declare it in the chat right now. I'm going to ask you to draw a line in the sand today and declare what is your identity when it comes to financial freedom. But remember, our declarations, are they from the past? Are they from the wish and the want? Or are they from the I am, that internal I am identity? Here's the thing. I know You don't need me to tell you this. I know you know what you want that identity to be, specifically for you, because you're not a cookie cutter, right? Your brain's different than my brain. All of our brains are a little bit different, but process the same. So I want you to take a moment, because you were really great at defining what somebody that already is has financial freedom is. I'd like for you to declare and write down on your paper and in the chat, I am what? Because if you don't declare it, I need you to hear this. If you do not declare the identity that you will be in other words, taking from the future and bringing it to the present, in terms of financial freedom, if you don't declare it, here's something I am certain about. You will live someone else's financial freedom. You will be part of creating someone else's version of financial freedom. So it's vital that you declare in the chat. As I was walking into that NFL tryout, in no way was I saying I'm an NFL cheerleader, but I did walk in having the reps and I said, I'm meant to be here. I can do hard things. I can learn this. Those were internal identity statements that I walked in that door with. Now, I know you don't have the reps of financial freedom. That's what we're going to do in 67-day year is we're not only going to give you the exact steps to take, but we're going to show you how to build this identity so that it literally ushers in the future to the present. Because your brain does not need to see it to believe it, but it does need to believe it to see it. So in the chat, I want you to declare your identity, and it should start with I am, and it should look like it's already done. I am, and it should look like it's already done. I'm inspired, and I'm inspiring others. I am making everything new in my life. I am selflessly generous. Actually, Kathy and Cheryl, please remove that link that you put in there. We're not there yet, so please remove that link. In service of others, I have self-belief. I am confident. I'm using it as leverage to make bigger impact. I'm not second guessing. I'm donating to others. I am confident, able to make quick decisions, service-oriented. Isn't it interesting? As you're clicking into that identity, you already know. There's that intuition again. There's that intuition. So what else? I'm financially free and fully in control of my life. I am a person who buys the good stuff, good enough to have a good home and a good life, who loves to give money to her favorite Christian charities. Renee's like, I'm financially free, living the life of my dreams and abundance of wealth to pour into others. You are so right. It is not just for you. It's currency, right? Catherine says, I'm successful in my business. I own a 700,000 annual revenue driven business. I serve others. I'm able to give to others. And then we just keep going. Yeah, I don't know why. It's in StreamYard. So make sure you go. Sorry, just a little housekeeping there. I am leading 10 women to help live happier and healthier lives one-on-one. I have a group of 30 women who are in my group program. Oh, so good. How does that feel? Kelly's like, I have a 110K year business. I'm financially free. I'm generous. I'm loving. I'm connected coach. I want you to answer this question right now. Have you done that exercise? How do you feel? How do you feel? I'm going to take a drink here. How do you feel? Taking you on a little bit of a roller coaster today. Oh, hey, Amy, good to see you. I'm world-changing, soul-shifting, multimillionaire who is lavishly generous. So good. How are you feeling? Like, just pause for a moment now that you've declared that identity and it's written down on your paper and it's written in there. How do you feel? Something that we don't realize is that most of our experience is in not the thought or the thinking, but it is in the feeling. So how do you feel? Like a weight is lifted off my shoulders, Heather says. I feel it's the right thing to do. How do you feel? I love what Lori says. She says, I'm living comfortably without fear and lack. There's a scripture that I live without fear for my future. I live without the fear of the future. That's what I believe the 67-day year program allows you to do. I am blessed. I'm a blessing to others, and I'm giving highly to charities close to my heart. How else are you feeling? Excited, centered. So good. So good. So I'm going to ask another question, and it's a little bit of a rhetorical question. So why does, now that, by the way, I didn't tell you any of those things, again, I'm just going to reiterate, your intuition was working just fine. You knew exactly who you wanted to be, exactly what you wanted to create, and exactly what that creation makes you feel like. That is you not relying on the outside. And I'm a coach prompting your questions, but the answers came not from the outside. They came from within you. That is something we get to strengthen on steroids inside the 67-day year program. But my question to you is this: why doesn't the external match what you just wrote? Why doesn't the external match that of a 6 or 7 figure entrepreneur? Because you already know what you want it to be. And it's that one ugly word, fear. It's that automation in the subconscious that says, if you do these things, it makes you simmer down. Why? Because what happens if I go all in and I do this and I say yes to this and I feel like it can happen and it doesn't work? That's your brain. I want you to observe that. That is your brain. Now, here's the great thing. You can observe the sentences that your brain serves up to you and decide, do those sentences align with where you want to be? And if they align, that's amazing. Keep them. They are working for you. But if the idea that you've got to play small, the idea that you've got to dial it down, the idea that you need to work alone and just take your time when time is really the thing that you can never get back, your brain is trying to keep you safe. It's why you don't go all in. It's why you play smaller. And it's, okay, this is a little tough love moment. I know I'm going to get a bruised head. Shoe's going to come flying, but this is why you take non-threatening steps. It's why you stay busy in all the busy work, but don't go all in. It's this battle between faith or belief and fear. The language of results in the brain is certainty. That is faith. That is belief. The language of failure in the brain is fear. So faith says, I don't see it yet, but it's coming. Let's write that down. Faith, certainty says, I don't see it yet, but it's coming. Fear says, I don't see it, and I won't see it because it isn't safe. Fear is your enemy. And this is all about training your brain to allow the success, to allow the faith, to allow the belief to go on autopilot and work for you 90% of the time, to crush the lies, right? And I was laughing at my niece. She's learning how to drive. Okay, that's a whole nother thing. We go from like 0 to 10, keeping them alive, right, parents? Like, I'm keeping you alive. I'm raising a child. And then from 10 on, you're like, you're teaching them to go away. It's just the craziest thing. And part of that circumstance is teaching them to drive, which is oh so fun to put your child and yourself in a 7,000-pound vehicle and move it at 40 miles an hour. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I was laughing at my niece because she's saying, Auntie, like, I'm driving with my dad and I'm putting my foot on the gas and my mind, I just kept putting my brake and my gas at the same time. And I'm like, what happened? And she's like, I kept veering off the road this way and veering off the road that way. That's exactly what happens when we're trying to do the thing God called you to do, but we're letting these stories drive the car, slamming the brake, veering you right and veering you left. So we're about to shift to breaking down the rest of the 67-day year map, but I have to ask you, are you done doing that? Are you ready to go all in on the thing that you know you're put into? Now, yes, I know you need the steps. Yes, I know you need the identity. That's what we're going to do in the 67-day year together. But if you're all in, if you're done with the break and you're all in, I need you to post, I'm all in. I need you to post, I'm all in. Like it's the line in the sand where you say, I now cannot unlearn this. I now know that the thoughts that were trying to keep me safe are actually keeping me stuck. And I now know that it's actually so simple to create results, but I can't do it alone. So I need you to say all in if you're all in. I see all of you. I see all of you. This is exactly why I'm going to offer you something that I know is so needed. In this speed economy, it's so needed to be successful. When you look at successful people, that's the thing that I needed, right? To stop doing things alone, to have the exact right steps to take, to having someone who's already walked the path walk with me daily. So I'm going to ask for your permission again to share with you something that I've created just for you and me to be able to work together to deeply apply the 67-day year map and to deeply create the identity of financial freedom. And we call that the 67-day year program. So you can go ahead and put 67dayyear.com in all the chats. But here's the thing. You've learned only one thing is in the way of your success, and it's having the exact roadmap that works in the new economy. And learning also, the second thing is learning to show your brain that success is safe. So we can ditch the blind spots, the lone wolf, the what I used to do, which is do it alone, pray, willpower, I can do it. And then, white knuckle success. Does anybody else know what that feels like? Like, just please, we can ditch that altogether. So that's why I'm opening the doors to the 67-day year. I created it because I see you, I believe in you, and I know, I don't think, when I look back over all the success I've had, it's not been the strategies that made it happen. I know the only thing standing in your way of seeing all that you see behind your eyes in real life is learning to operate the system of your mind through the 67-day year map and ditching the things that have gotten in the way. It's really like old programs. I'm actually not doing courses or old programs because they just don't work as well in this economy. So this is the only done with you accomplishment coaching system. And here's the promise. One goal, one boulder, 67 days. And in that process, we teach your brain to allow the success side by side with accountability, with the exact steps, with weekly coaching, office hours, your specific roadmap. The promise is one goal, 67 days, done. We map out every step down to the things you're doing every single day. And we train your brain to allow the success, the identity of a 7-figure entrepreneur, so that you can create that financial freedom and that legacy. And I was thinking this morning, what is one thing I can tell you that is the most powerful thing about 67-day year? And it's this. You know how I talked about the key to transformation, information plus revelation plus action equals results? Well, here's the key. We don't want to say no if you're done spending 17 weeks going through videos and 25,000 worksheets and feeling about the same when you get done. And, hours upon hours upon hours upon hours of coursework to try to get to your end results. Just say, ugh, done. done. I'm so done with more. It just feels like it's loading on. And I know a lot of you, a lot of us have course shame. And the great news is once you're done with 67-day year, all the things you've invested in work because you have a different identity and you've gotten one boulder done and then the next one done and then the next one done. So this is really a done with you. The promise is one goal, 67 days done. And I thought about it this morning. You know, when I did my Epic Success Program, some of you were in that. That was a 3 to 5. It started out at $3,000, ended up at $5,000. So a lot of us are like, wow, okay. So I'm like, how can I make what we did there faster? And then we created this map and people's really started moving, the 67-day year method. And so here's the exciting thing. The content that you got to learn is in an intensive format. We spend, get this, just 3 days. And it's not, they're just an hour and a half each day, about the time you've been spending with me here. 3 days, you will know everything you need to know in a week. And then the rest of the 67 days is about walking out your plan with accountability, with coaching when you hit blind spots and potholes, with a community around you. And I thought about like this tool is what makes everything else work. And then I thought about the gamifying thing. So we're going to throw some gamifying in there. So we actually pay some of you to be successful within the program. And we're not going to do 5,000 or 3,000. And in fact, I am going to throw in something that I've never done before. Barbara's going to like throw something at me for doing this, but I thought about it this morning. I'm like, for those who pay in full for this, I'm going to create a mastermind where I personally walk through mapping out your 67-day year. So we're going to do it together with everybody who pays in full. So that is going to be it's going to be only for the next 24 hours though. So this is going all in for you. This is saying yes to you, really saying that I'm not going to play small anymore. I'm not going to look to the outside to match, but I'm going to actually create the life that creates financial freedom. One boulder. And I'm going to ask you, and of course, you go to 67dayyear.com, just bookmark that. It has lots of bonuses, other bonuses, everything that's on there. And like I said, it was 3,000, it was 5,000 for Epic, and we're not going to do it. It's just $12.97 for pay in full. And we have some payment programs all the way down to like 300. So that mastermind with me is just for the next 24 hours for those that join in the next 24 hours. And there's loads of bonuses. But I want to ask you a question. Tell me in the chat what it's going to be like if in 67 days that boulder that you identified is done. It's just done. Tell me in the chat what's possible once that happens. I just want you to imagine that for a second. What becomes possible when that boulder is finished and you're on to the next boulder and the next boulder and the next boulder and the next boulder? What becomes possible? What becomes possible? Everything is possible, Amy says. Headed to Paris with my oldest daughter. I love that. I'm all in. I love it, Lisa. Yay. Fast, fast, fast. Love it. Done, Eddie says. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. So my husband can retire from his side hustle. Exactly. So in 67dayyear.com, you'll see tons of bonuses. You can read more about it. You'll see a lot of the testimonials. There is a guarantee. I don't guarantee people who don't do the work, but those do the work and go all in, we've got 100% success rate. So just go to 67dayyear.com and get yourself enrolled today. And if those who pay in full will get that mastermind with me. And I just want to welcome those of you who are already jumping in. I'm so excited to see you in the room. Look, this is the difference between fast starts, those who are like, my yes is a yes for me, and those who process. And we both do both, right? Fast start, if you're naturally a fast start. When you know this is like exactly what you need, you're in. Say yes. Say, yeah, I'm a fast start. That's me. I'm a fast start. That's me, by the way. When I know that there's an answer, that's me. So Britta, Shelly, Lisa, they're the ones that are going to be like, I'm in. Barbara's in, right? They're in and they're joining 67-day year. And then Carolina's in, right? And so you're in. Who else are my fast starts? Who else are my fast starts? Catherine's in, right? What about in Facebook? Are you, which one of you are the fast starts in the room that are like, when I know, and I say yes to myself and I jump in. Yeah. Carrie's like, I'm in. Woo. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, and then there are some of us that are processors. And by the way, on your way to financial freedom, you're going to learn this about your clients. You're going to learn this about their clients. That's why I want you to observe that. Now, what's happening for a processor, right? Processor, if you're a processor, right? Processor, if you like, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I know this is the answer, but I'm thinking about it. This is what your brain starts to do to not, yeah, like I'm a processor. I need to think it through. I need to walk that through. And that's your brain kind of wanting to go and click, like, is this going to work? Is this going to work for me? Does this make sense for time? Well, yes, this speeds up time, right? Does it worth the money? And my question on that, I always say, like, invest in the things that get you time. Invest in the things that get you speed. I think when you're sitting 67 days year later and fast forwarding your future, that's different, right? Everything shifts, right? Everything shifts. And so your brain, let's not put dates in the chat right now, okay? Thank you. Because things could change and I don't want somebody to set it on something and it could change. But here's what I want to say. Watch how our brain works, how our brain, and notice when your brain starts to talk you out of things that you know are the right things to do, but then you allow the patterns of the past to make you play small again. So it's just really, really interesting. And so one of the things we're going to do tomorrow is I'll tell you about the topic we're going to handle tomorrow, but we're going to bring on a few people who've been through the process to share their journey with you. Because why? Because I want my processors, and of course my fast starts can come and listen and be excited. They'll probably already be in though. And you can hear, what is it like to accelerate your success? What is it like to have the identity of someone that is financially creating freedom? So go to 67dayyear.com and get in the room. And I really want you to get that mastermind with me before that expires in 24 hours. All right, let's dive into breaking down the rest of the 67-day method. I love it, Lisa. You are in and you're like, this is my year. Say, this is my year, right? So here's where I want us to start on the next part of the map. Are you ready? Say ready if you're ready. Say ready if you're ready. And Kathy, actually, 1 second. I'll just do it for you. Heather, you can, yes, I hear you on that completely. Just DM me and I can give you more details on specifics like that for sure. There we go. Okay. And if Kathy, you can make sure that 67dayyear.com is pinned in Facebook and all the places, that would be great. And Cheryl. All right. So you've got your mountain. Bring that mountain to mind. You got it? Got your mountain? You ready with your mountain? And then yesterday we picked our boulders. So you picked 2 or 3 boulders. And what I'm going to ask you to do now is take a look at those boulders that you picked yesterday. And I want you to choose one. Now, here's the greatest news of all. Part of your brain is going to say, well, what if I don't choose the right one? What if I choose one and I should have chosen the other? This happens a lot. And this is the greatest news of all. In whatever one you choose, you are going to get so much acceleration that the other one is going to not be a problem. So there is not a wrong answer here. Watch how your brain wants to tell you there's a right and the wrong answer, and you could get it wrong and it will all fail. You won't fail. So look at your boulders and pick one that you're like, this is the one. I'm in the next 67 days. And I call it the domino, right? If I knock this one over in the next 67 days, the rest becomes so much easier. So in the chat, I want you to write, what is the one boulder you're going to go for? What is the one boulder you're going to go for? Woo, needed to get a drink. It's on fire this morning. All right, so what is it? In Facebook, on the Unleashed Entrepreneur Facebook group, let's put it in. Make more offers. Awesome. Renee is time management. I don't have enough to offer others, charge rates to get me to the goal. So Kelly, what's your mountain? So that we can like work backwards on that. Britta said, I took action right away and started sourcing manufacturers for my next product. That was, she's on VIP. And yesterday we broke down her boulders for her. It's as simple as a Google search and hasn't even done because it seemed like a mountain, such a small boulder. Catherine's boulder is to set up and start business workshops, launching a podcast. What else? Well, Eddie, I'm going to ask you, because we can't continue to do the same things and expect a different result, right? So I want you to say, okay, what is the mountain I want? And what is one thing that will help that happen? Eddie, copywriting. You said it already. Copywriting. I just didn't see that. Yes. So that is your boulder. Love it. Carrie's make offers. I love it. Lisa's market and sell. That's kind of one, right? Make offers and get clients. Yes. So we'll go deeper in the 67-day year. I'm going to start helping you here on getting a little bit more definition. Now, when we do the intensive on the 67-day year, you're going to have literally every step you need to take. Let that set for a minute. Imagine knowing every single day when you wake up exactly what you need to do to make that goal a reality. That's what we do together in the 67-day year. That's why you need to be in the room. And when your brain starts having a temper tantrum, when your brain starts to tell you I'm not ready, when your brain, not if, when your brain does those things as you're building that identity, you're in a room with office hours, with coaching, and with Voxer channel with us helping you shift that. We have some tools called the Mind Matrix that is so simple, it'll be mind-blowing, that actually helps you get past it fast. Curie is launching membership program. Carolina is presenting my program and getting clients. I love it. Bernadette's time management, getting clients. All right. In the Unleashed Entrepreneur Facebook group, what are your boulders? What are your boulders? All right. So everybody has their boulders. They've picked one that they're going to move on first. And here's what I want you to do next. Now, those that join 67-day, we're going to take this even further down to the daily, but this is going to get you a lot of momentum. I want you to define 1, 2, up to 10 small things you can do to make that boulder happen. For example, if my boulder was, I want to start a podcast, because we're going to focus on one boulder for 67 days, right? One boulder for 67 days. So if my boulder, like Bess's, which is create a 3-day virtual live retreat from March 23rd to the 25th. I love the specificity of that. That was awesome. So some of the 10 rocks. So we've got mountains, we've got boulders, and then we've got rocks. Now in the 67-day year, we actually take it down another notch to where we've defined 3 things every single day. And it's super simple. So not overwhelming. Your brain never kicks in that overwhelm system, procrastination, perfectionism, all of that. We can kiss goodbye. Yay. So I want you to sit for a second, trust your intuition, and just brainstorm 5 to 10 things that would need to happen in order for you to have that boulder happen. So if my boulder was a podcast, one of my rocks would be set up the tech. Another of my rocks would be record, get equipment. Another of my rocks would be record my first 3 podcasts. These are the micro rocks that when they're all done, that boulder will completely move. So Jenny's fill her membership by getting know, like, and trust factor with the new YouTube channel. So one of Jenny's rocks, because her boulder is membership, is to start her YouTube channel. Right? And so what is it for you? So just take a couple minutes and just brainstorm. What are 5 to 10 things that we would need to do and make it simple. Remember, simple scales, complex fails. Simple scales, complex fails. So, and if you're telling yourself, I don't know. Okay, well, if you did know, like what would you guess? And in VIP yesterday, it was so funny. I just asked the question, okay, so tell me what you need to do to make that happen. And what was it? It was just like 4 simple steps. Well, I need to get the permits. I need to get it created. I need to list it and I need to sell it. Like, there you go. There you go. So what are your 10 rocks? Now, like I said, I want you to just start seeing how fast you're going to move from momentum, which is what you've gotten here live with me over this week, to acceleration, to speed, to gaining the currency of time back. And as you serve more, because you're moving faster and you're serving more people, that law of sowing and reaping is what creates the financial freedom. And as we're building that identity, are you starting to see how fast this can go? In just 2 days, we've got somebody with 3 new clients, 37 new group members, 100 new emails, a viral video. Why? Because they created a declaration showing your brain certainty and clarity, knowing where to go. So what? Yeah, so your brain goes in. So watch, I love that Beth said this, my brain's going into overwhelm, not enough time. So here's the thing. That is your brain trying to pump the brake and say it's not worth it. What if in the process of defining your rocks, and then what we do in 67-day year, which defines it even more, that all you need to spend is 30 minutes a day and it will be done in 67 days. Beth's mind just went, because what we see is this big long list and our brain serves us the neurochemicals that create overwhelm. But what if it can be so simple that all I do is take 3 simple steps every single day? And those who are joining 67-day year, going to 67dayyear.com, this is part of the process of the map. So we don't just take it and keep it in list form. We actually really get in there and break it apart to where all you're doing is grabbing 3 things and doing them 30 minutes or less. Beth, does that help? Knowing that where we're headed is just 30 minutes a day? So just let your brain marinate on that for a second. 30 minutes. I know, like, what do you mean 30 minutes a day? Yes, 30 minutes a day. 30 minutes a day. So I want to see some of your rocks. Let's just do one. What is one thing you know you need to do in order to topple that boulder? YouTube launch. Kelly's like, I need to do my YouTube launch. Great. That's a beautiful rock. And in 67-day year, we'll micro that and make it really, really simple. What else? What is one of your rocks? Because see, now we've taken it from this mountain, which creates massive overwhelm, down to a boulder, much more doable. Carolina says, book appointments. And down to, okay, here are some rocks, these rocks. And now I'm going to break down the rocks a little bit more. And in 67-day year, we have all of our business coaches, myself included, and we're all helping you see the exact steps. Book appointments, reach out to my connections that I already have. What else? What else? What is one rock that you can do? So Amy's saying, take Pat's class on podcasting. Amy, reach out to me. Pat's a dear friend of mine, and I have a special link for you that if that's one of your things, we'll deal with that. So love Pat. It's a good friend. What else? I love it. I'm just going to keep hanging here for a second. Believing in myself, Bernadette says. Yeah. So one of your rocks can be in the 67-day year, in the very beginning, I'm going to focus on really doing the 3 things that we do to create identity of a 7-figure entrepreneur, which you're going to learn to train your mind to think like that. You're going to remove the blocks that are getting in the way, and you're going to automate the identity of somebody with financial future. And I can tell you, it's as simple as building with Legos. I'd like to say that it's really complicated to remove limiting beliefs, but it's actually very, very simple. So for you, Bernadette, I would make that my first rock. Just make that your first rock. right. So Lisa's Boulder is marketing. Rocks our Facebook group, YouTube channel, make name for the business, and an email list. And then Lisa, in the 67-day year, we're going to take those rocks that you start out with. We're going to chisel them a little bit and get them really where it's just no brainer what you're going to do. Britta's deciding on manufacturer, decide on logo, packaging, simple steps. Do you see how simple? Simple. Eddie says, write down the whys. I'm venturing into copy. So writing down whys is a big one. I love that so much. Not right. Renee, I know something we can do, but we probably won't do that live. This is entirely, so this is, actually, I'm going to bring it up. What's the difference between this and Epic Success? It's an entirely different program. It's an entirely different program. In Epic Success, all we did was teach you how to train your brain to remove beliefs. This is that plus the entire 67-day year map method. So Britta's asking me, is the overwhelm in your mind or also emotions? Okay, so I'm perfect question, because that leads right to where I'm headed. So Britta, put a pin in that, because I'm headed there right now. But I just want you to see how fast this can really start to go. What seems so complicated when you were standing at the base of the mountain now is starting to take shape. And in the 67-day year program, we get to really create literally like a map. And you're not having to look at the same map every day. You're just looking at your 3 things, right? And the key here, the map itself creates obviously your mountain, your boulders, your rocks, and the identity. And that combination creates speed. It's the identity that your success is inevitable. And I said before that confidence comes from competence, right? It's reps. And I want to tell you this quick story, and really important story that I heard when Kobe, everybody know Kobe Bryant, like well-known basketball player, miss him so much. He was talking about Kobe. Somebody asked him, Kobe, why are you so confident on the court? And he said, confident. Like, he really confident. He's like, I am not confident on the course, on the court. I'm competent. I shoe up at 5 a.m. I'm on the court before anyone else. I'm putting in the reps. I'm not any better than anyone else. The only difference between me and those that trail me is that I am willing to put in the reps. And he said, and when I put in the reps, I'm consistent. He said, most people, they put in some reps and then they trail off. Does that sound familiar to the working toward growing your business, right? And it's the consistency that creates that. But I'm in a room with my coach, and my coach sees my ability. So when I start backing off on the gas pedal, he says, Kobe, stop playing small. Put in the reps you know you're meant to do. Right? And I love this. Is so aligns with building a business, becoming an entrepreneur, growing your financial freedom, because we think it's some guru strategy way out here. And that if I could just have that secret, that sauce that every marketer is marketing to you right now, that you should be there in 5 minutes and just use my secret webinar, or my this or my that, or my this or my that. It has nothing to do with that. It all works. That's why they're selling it to you. Right? And that's the great news, because every course you have on your shelf, this is a strategy course. Once you're through 67-day year, they work. Why? Because you are in a different identity as you're approaching it. So it's Kobe's identity alongside with his coach who knew his capacity. I know what you're capable of, right? And as he had speed and he learned from his coach and he was consistent, that's what allows your true potential, your power, and your passion to rise to the top. To rise to the top. It allows you, and I gotta be honest, this is my favorite part of the 67-day year. Yes, you're gonna accomplish your goals. Yes, you're gonna tell me things like, why was it so complicated before this? This is so easy. You're gonna say, wow, my anxiety seems to have gone away. Because guess what, high performer? I know you're anxious. I know the energy. I get it. I lived through it. The thing that I'm most proud of through this method that shifted was I come from a generational background of anxiety to the biggest degree. My mom, my hero, had such debilitating anxiety, she could never leave the house. She was the most amazing person on the planet. She's not with us anymore. But the world didn't get to see her 1% because the stories in her head created the anxiety to such a level that she played small. And I got to be honest with you, one of the things I'm most proud of, yes, I love our charity and what we've been able to do. Yes, I love my businesses and I love helping you get to the next level. It is my life's work. It is my calling from God. But knowing that I've been able to shift the legacy of anxiety out of our family line, that's worth it. Because anxiety comes from fear. And fear is the language of failure. And so when you flip that, and we call it flipping the success switch, and we all know it, Barbara, right? We know it, don't we? When that transition in your mind has happened, because all of a sudden you stop allowing the brake pedal beliefs to slow you down. And when you do that, this is my favorite part of what I get to do. It allows you to access all of you. All those potentials, all that power, all the passion gets to rise up to the top. And that's exactly why you need to join 67-Day Year. So you just go to 67dayyear.com and take the leap, because it is a yes for you to taking your foot off the brake, to allowing an identity that allows success, for like getting one goal. Imagine like 67 days would have taken you 2 years, now 67 days. So now you're asking yourself, what's next? And what's next? That does not create anxiety. That creates joy. That creates freedom. That creates a different conversation in your family when you're saying, I'm not sure I'm going to take on any more houses to flip right now because we have more than enough. And I think we're just going to take a vacation for a month. Right? And here's the thing, knowing you can. Because I know high performing people, when they're on the other side, are having the conversation, the doubt of, I'm not sure I can. So the power, when you've jumped over that line, knowing that you can, knowing that you're showing your brain that you can, opens up possibilities and potentials you're not even dreaming of right now, which jacks me up if you can't tell. Like 6 years ago, if somebody, well, let me even go further back than that. Like 15 years ago, if somebody said you'd be helping 3,000 orphans in Uganda, I would have said you're crazy. And if 6 years ago, you would have told me, oh, you're going to, by the way, with this model that's changing your life and changing your clients' lives, you're going to certify coaches in, I would have said the same thing. Because as you get to the next level and the next level, new potentials and new possibilities open up for you and for your family and for your life. That's exactly why. Do not have the conversation of next time. Stop postponing your life, because time is the thing you cannot get back. And go to 67dayyear.com and get in that pay in full mastermind with me, where I'm going to get to help you handcraft it. It'll be pretty good. So this is a yes you want for you and your future and the legacy. And I don't know about you, but I'm kind of done with doing it alone. That's why when we all were sitting around the room, I'm like, gosh, here's the picture I got. I want to link arms with you, right? You know what I mean? Like if you ever link arms with your good friends and you're like walking through stuff, like I want to put my arm around your arm. First of all, borrow my belief, because I'm going to probably hold your vision higher than you will at some points, and that's okay. And just walk side by side with that one goal in 67 days. Get those exact steps, 3 hours a day, right? Loads of bonuses, just go there. So we're at an hour and 15 minutes. So I'm going to do an audible, and I'm going to tell you that tomorrow, here's what we're going to do on the live. Come tomorrow. Now tomorrow, make sure you check your inbox, because we're sending you a Zoom link, not just come into the group. Now, if you're in the group, we will live stream it to the group, but we're going to dive into building a financial freedom identity and ditching scarcity. So we're going to start with that. Is that a good thing? Is anybody in the room ready to ditch scarcity? Like, we're tired of the tug of war between scarcity and abundance. 2 steps forward toward abundance, 2 steps back, scarcity, right? Okay. So here's the key. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about how to teach your brain, and it's literally 4 steps, easy ones, to allow an abundance mentality and eliminate the scarcity. We're going to be talking about monkeys tomorrow. It's okay. We'll hold on for that story. We're also going to be talking about the key components that make up the 60-70 year method, the Sync NeuroCoach model, which is STEBDAR, Mind Matrix, Brain Priming. You've heard me say some things about them. We go deep in the 67-day year with them. That's how we remove limiting beliefs. And we're going to also talk tomorrow about something that you probably haven't even been thinking about up till now. Let me ask you this question. This will be the determinant if we go here or not tomorrow. Who here has a habit that they would either like to have or something they'd like to get rid of, some habit they'd like to get rid of? Write habit in the chat. Write habit in the chat. Write habit in the chat. Mambo mentality. I love it, Eddie. I bet, Eddie, you're going to be an amazing copywriter. I don't know. That just dropped into my spirit. Okay, lots of habits. Okay, good. So just like the goal setting system that you're using right now to create habits is based on an old broken down system, so is how you're trying to accomplish a habit. It actually works against how your brain creates habits. Yay. So tomorrow, not only are we going to do the abundance and scarcity and really teach you how to train your brain to allow belief, we are actually going to go into how to do what's called micro habits. That's my second book will be on micro habits. My next book is going to be on 67-day year. So those that you're in 67-day year, you guys are all going to be a part of that book getting written, which is pretty cool. So we're going to dive into micro habits and how to speed up habit results, meaning we're going to show you how you can in 24 hours install a habit. But wait, Shannon, it takes 21 days to make a habit. Nope, not really. Not if you're aligning with how the brain creates habits. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. And I'm going to have 4 or 5 amazing individuals that have been through 67-day year to talk about their results, to share with you their stories so that you can hear from them. And as we wrap up today's call, and of course, VIP stay on, make sure you put in your browser 67dayyear.com. Jump in now, fast starts, jump in now, because I do limit the amount of people that do come in. In fact, we had to limit it last time. We had to pull the throttle back last time. So grab your seat before they fill up. Remember, those who pay in full are getting that mastermind with me, which I'm really, really excited about. I haven't done that in a long while, and I'm really super excited about that. And then tomorrow, make sure you look for that Zoom link. We'll be doing those 2 things. Plus, we're going to be doing some live coaching together. VIPers and everybody in the main room are all going to be on the same Zoom together. So it's going to be really powerful. We're going to break down that micro habit system and really annihilate scarcity for good. And I'm so excited for all of you that are joining the 67-day year. So I am, it's an honor. Honestly, I just got to say, this is my life's work, and nothing means more to me than helping you. Gosh, it makes me emotional. I really believe that God himself has put the desires in your heart. And I know that there's that 1% that's only you. And I see so many amazing people that literally should be changing the world, literally should be changing generations, literally should be making a legacy that lasts generation after generation after generation. It wrecks me to see them continue to be handcuffed It's not your destiny. And when I get the opportunity and the trust and the honor to have you say yes to you by joining 67 Day Year, and you come in, and I know you come in kind of like, I hope this works, and you're borrowing my belief. Yeah, I know it. I understand. Thank you for that trust. I honor that. And we walk you through the process, and you start to see how simple it can be. And the anxiety drops, and you start to see that I can move the mountain by just 30 minutes a day, and mountains start to move, and you start to step into your potential and your possibility. I don't know who gains more, me or you, because there's something magical about somebody like you becoming and seeing all that you have to offer the world, and then moving on to bigger and bigger potentials. So I just want to say I honor those of you who are jumping into 67dayyear.com to the program. And I will see you tomorrow, 12 p.m. Central, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be in Zoom together, and we're going to be breaking down the lie of scarcity and building an abundance mindset in a belief, brain-based belief kind of a way. We are going to be teaching you on micro habits and how to flip a habit goal in 24 hours. And then you're going to get to hear from some amazing human beings all around their experience within the 67-day year. I adore you. I love being with you today, and I can't wait to see you in the 67-day year. VIP or stay on. Bye for now. See you tomorrow.